Yeah, hi folks. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am seeing the leader of the so-called free world declining rapidly. Now, we've always known that Biden suffers from dementia, but it seems to be getting worse rapidly by the day. It's getting so bad now that he couldn't even do a speech on 9/11. Hell, even George Bush did one, and he's an idiot. And it's clearly evident now that America is run by Biden's puppet masters and their compliant media. Biden looks for the chosen reporter,
NPR.
calls out NPR.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to follow up on something you said a moment ago. You said that there's no circumstances where American citizens cannot get to the airport. That doesn't really square with the images we're seeing around the
He looks for the answer.
airport with the reporting on the ground from our colleagues who are describing chaos and violence. Are you saying unequivocally that any American who wants to get to the airport is getting there and getting past the security barrier and to the planes where they want to go?
I thought the question was,
I thought the question was,
how can they get through to the airport outside the airport? And the answer is,
and so on and so on. All staged.
I'm not supposed to take any questions, but
I'm not supposed to take any questions. Why not, Joe? Who's running the show?
go ahead.
Mr. President, on Afghanistan.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now.
Yeah, anyway, now to the so-called gaffes.
Climate change was here. You know, the looks like a tornado. They don't call them that anymore.
What do they call them now, Joe?
That hit the crops and wetlands in the middle of the country and Iowa and Nevada, and I mean it's just across the board. And
Mr. President, I got a question. Is the sun going to come out tomorrow?
And so, folks, this summer alone, communities with over 100 million Americans.
Communities with over 100 million Americans. Where are they, Joe?
100 Americans call home. And your Congresswoman, is this your district?
Grace Ming.
Oh, it's Grace's district.
Yeah, these are not gaffes, folks. He doesn't know where he is.
And I ask that you join me now in a moment of silence for all those in uniform and out, uniform, military and civilian, who have given the last full measure of devotion. Thank you.
No one's home, folks. Look at his eyes. And he's making vital decisions like this.
The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. It is not at all comparable.
And now it's coming into land at the US Embassy.
Is a Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not.
What you're looking at, we've just had 2 more helicopters take off from the US Embassy. And this is how they're ferrying people back and forward. And then we have, I can see 4 in total. These ones heading directly for the airport now.
First up, top of the agenda between Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin ought to be Syria. But in the lead-up, the US president seems to confuse that country with Libya.
We could work together with Russia, for example, in in Libya. We should be opening up the passes to be able to go through and provide food assistance and vital assistance to a population that's in real trouble. I think I'm going to try very much hard to. It is. And by the way, there's places where I shouldn't be starting off and negotiating in public here, but let me say it this way. Russia has engaged in activities which we believe are contrary to international norms, but they have also bitten off some real problems they're going to have trouble chewing on. And for example, the rebuilding of Syria, of Libya, they're there. And as long as they're there without the ability to bring about some order in the region, and you can't do that very well without providing for the basic economic needs of people. So I'm hopeful that we can find an accommodation where we can save the lives of people for example, in Libya.
Libya or Syria? Does he know?
No, he doesn't know. And it gets worse, folks.
My son was one of the Marines that died yesterday. And to listen to that. Sorry, I'm on the radio.
No. Go ahead.
My son was one of the Marines that died yesterday. 20 years and 6 months old, getting ready to come home from Jordan to be with his wife to watch the birth of his son. And that feckless, dementia-ridden piece of crap just sent my son to die. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning to Marines at my door telling me my son was dead. So to have her on right before me and listen to that piece of crap talk about diplomatic with freaking Taliban terrorists who just blew up my son and know nothing, to not say anything about, oh my God, I'm so sorry for the families. So my son is gone, and I just want all you Democrats who cheated in the election or who voted for him legitimately, you just killed my son.
Well said.
With a dementia-ridden piece of who doesn't even know he's in the White House, he still thinks he's a senator. So, I'm going to try and calm down. I'm sorry.
Nothing to be sorry about, dear. Be proud of yourself. It's no wonder people don't trust Biden anymore.
Tell me one thing that you trust more than President Biden.
Gas station sushi, CNN, Somalian cruise line, prostate exam from Captain Hook, a styrofoam gas can, Nigerian prince inheritance email, Helen Keller flying a plane, a mechanic who tells me my blinker fluid is low, Flint, Michigan tap water, the ingredients of a hot dog, a suspiciously large wooden horse, breast milk from Bruce Jenner.
Breast milk from Bruce Jenner.
A mixed drink from Bill Cosby, a blood transfusion from Charlie Sheen, Facebook's free speech protection, Elizabeth Warren's Native American DNA, carpooling with John F. Kennedy, going to the theater with Abe Lincoln, Jeffrey Epstein's suicide note, a girl who says, I'm fine, marriage advice from Ross Geller, and a rattlesnake with a pet me sign.
Yeah, now folks, this really isn't a joke anymore. This is serious, given the fact that America can't be trusted to defend Taiwan anymore. And when China takes Taiwan, Australia and New Zealand will be next.